You call them. It rings once, twice, 3 times, then decline. A few seconds later, your phone buzzes. Hey, what's up? And you just sit there thinking, why didn't you just answer? Maybe you're that person. The one who sees a call coming in and feels a tiny spike of panic. Not because you don't like the person, not because you're hiding something, but because calling feels like too much. We've all heard the joke. If you call me without warning, I assume someone died. It's funny, but it's also revealing. Because for a lot of people, texting feels safe, controlled, even comforting, while calling feels intrusive, unpredictable, and strangely intense. So what's actually going on in your brain when you'd rather type than talk? Let me show you. Imagine 2 doors. Behind door A is a phone call. Behind door B is a text message. Door A opens immediately. You have to respond in real time. No pause button, no edits, no time to think. Your brain goes live, like you're on stage. Words have to come out now. Tone matters. Timing matters. Silence feels awkward. Your nervous system kicks in just a little. Door B, it's different. You can open it when you want. You can read, think, respond later. You can rewrite your message 3 times before hitting send. It's a conversation, but on your terms. That difference, control, is at the heart of this whole thing. Psychologists have long known that humans are wired to seek predictability. Your brain loves control because control equals safety. When something is predictable, your stress response stays low. When something is unpredictable, even mildly, your brain prepares for potential threat. A phone call is unpredictable. You don't know how long it will last. You don't know exactly what will be said. You can't rehearse. For people who are more anxious, more introverted, or just more mentally overloaded, that unpredictability feels heavy. Texting, on the other hand, is asynchronous communication. That means it doesn't demand instant response. Research on computer-mediated communication suggests that when we have time to craft our words, we feel more confident and less socially anxious. We can present the version of ourselves we want to present. It's like having a tiny editing room for your personality. And let's be honest, in real life, we don't always get that luxury. Think about the last time you said something awkward on a call. Maybe you stumbled. Maybe you interrupted. Maybe you didn't know how to respond fast enough. In real-time conversation, your brain is juggling listening, interpreting tone, planning your response, and managing your emotions all at once. That's a lot of cognitive load. Texting reduces that load. It gives your prefrontal cortex, the rational planning part of your brain, time to do its job. For introverts especially, this matters. Introversion isn't about hating people. It's about how your nervous system responds to stimulation. Phone calls are high stimulation. There's voice, emotion, immediacy. Texting is lower stimulation. It's quieter, slower, more contained. It's like the difference between a crowded party and a cozy coffee shop. But here's where it gets deeper. Some people prefer texting not because they're shy, but because they're emotionally careful. When you talk on the phone, your tone reveals you, your hesitation reveals you, your sigh reveals you. There's vulnerability in your voice. Texting acts as a shield. It gives you a layer of emotional distance. Attachment theory helps explain this. People with avoidant attachment styles often prefer communication that feels less engulfing. A phone call can feel intimate, even demanding. A text message, it's lighter, it leaves space. And then there's social anxiety. Studies on social anxiety show that real-time interaction increases physiological arousal, heart rate, sweating, self-monitoring. When you're on a call, you can't escape that spotlight feeling. You're aware of every word, every pause. You might overthink. Do I sound weird? Are they bored? Was that too much? Texting lowers the volume on that internal critic. But here's the twist. Sometimes it's not anxiety at all. Sometimes it's efficiency. We live in a world optimized for multitasking. You can text while cooking, commuting, or pretending to listen in a meeting. A call demands full attention. It interrupts. It claims your time. In a productivity-obsessed culture, texting feels respectful, controlled, manageable. There's also generational conditioning at play. Many younger adults grew up with instant messaging as their primary social tool. For them, texting isn't a downgrade from calling, it's the default. Phone calls feel formal, almost ceremonial, like showing up in a suit to a casual dinner. Cultural norms shift, and communication shifts with them. But let's talk about something even more human. Texting gives you time to regulate your emotions. If someone says something upsetting on a call, your reaction is immediate. It spills out. But over text, you can pause, you can breathe. You can decide how you want to respond instead of reacting impulsively. That pause can protect relationships. Neuroscience tells us that when we're triggered, the amygdala, the emotional alarm system, fires quickly. But regulation takes a moment. Texting builds that moment in. So for some people, preferring text isn't avoidance, it's emotional maturity. It's knowing that you communicate better when you're not under pressure. Of course, there's another side to this. Voice carries warmth, laughter, subtle emotion. Research shows that hearing someone's voice activates emotional bonding pathways more strongly than reading their words. Tone communicates nuance that text simply can't. Have you ever misread a message? Thought someone was mad when they weren't? Texting removes context. It flattens emotion. Sometimes that safety we crave also creates distance. And here's the philosophical part. Texting allows us to curate ourselves. Calling forces us to be spontaneous. Spontaneity is raw, imperfect, human. When you prefer texting, you might be protecting yourself from exposure, but you might also be missing the messy magic of unfiltered connection. Neither is right, neither is wrong. It's about awareness. Ask yourself, when I avoid calls, what am I protecting? My energy, my time, my anxiety, my vulnerability? There's no shame in preferring text. Your brain isn't broken, it's adapting. It's choosing the channel that feels safest or most efficient. But sometimes growth lives just outside that comfort zone. Maybe the next time your phone rings, instead of instantly declining, you pause. You notice the feeling in your chest, the urge to control, the little flicker of discomfort. And maybe, just maybe, you answer. Not because texting is bad, but because you're curious about yourself. At the end of the day, communication is just a mirror. The way you prefer to connect says something about how you experience the world, your sensitivity, your pace, your boundaries. And that's not something to judge. It's something to understand. So tell me, are you team text or team call? And more importantly, why? Because once you understand the psychology behind your habits, you stop labeling yourself as awkward or antisocial. You start seeing yourself as human. And that's where real connection begins.